Today we're here with the still new, very awesome RV-7 airplane. This is getting some miles on it, and it's been a while since it's been on the channel, so I thought it was time to share a flight with you guys. Let's put it in the air. I think one thing that most people love about this airplane is the way it looks. It is a very scale airplane. And it also performs extremely well. This is one of E-Flite's newer planes. I think it's less than a year old, as I said in the intro, and it'll fly on both a 3S and 4S battery. This is a 4S battery in it, and that's pretty much my favorite way to fly it, just because when you have a 4S battery, you can fly slow or fast if you want to. Here's full throttle. And someone told me, Abby, recently that this is called, those passes that I'm doing are called presentation passes. So, or a show pass, when you bank the wing and fly by like that, and you really get a nice pass.
Well, it's basically, don't I always say you're showing off when you do that?
Showing off.
Yeah.
So it's a show pass or a presentation pass.
Show off.
Yeah, and so you just kind of bank that wing and hold a little bit of rudder. It's almost like a knife edge, but not quite. That one was a little rough, and we're going to climb up, climb up, climb up.
I was going to say, you hope you don't embarrass yourself.
Now that's my, I think what I need to do with all of my airplanes is lower my alarm for these colder days of flying. Now, it's cold out, but it's not as cold as we have had. So because we're getting shorter flights, I promise I'll give you guys a second flight, just so long as I don't crash it. Ka-chow. Saw a jet up there behind me, super high in the sky, not leaving any contrails. Interesting. All aspects of aviation I love, from foam airplanes to full-scale commercial to the stuff that like SpaceX is doing, to even the wild theories of things, but we won't get into any of that stuff today. We're just here to have some fun with our RC plane. So yeah, you can fly this really nice in scale.
Oh,
and aerobatic,
I just lose you.
I don't know how you lost me. Aerobatic maneuvers.
Got you in the sun on my screen.
Aerobatic maneuvers on this plane are actually quite scale, and we talk about that all the time. There are very few things that this plane, this RC plane, can do that the real ones couldn't do, and this would be one of them, I think. Now, probably could do it, just not a lot of people would want to do that. So, a little bit of a snap roll. Abby, let's go high throttle. We're going to do one right in front of us. So climb into a snap roll. Snap it right up there, and I'll hit safe. And look at that, that just leveled me right out. Now sometimes most of the time I won't hit safe on something like that, but it's kind of fun to see what safe is capable of doing. Let's do that one more time, just to really put safe through its paces. So we're gonna launch it, snap it, and then hit safe right there with a little bit of throttle, and that is the beauty of safe. That's what it can do for you, is if you're upside down, disoriented, you panic in any way, you can throw that switch and it just auto levels your airplane. What a beautiful plane. A good friend of ours recently met up with us and was very impressed with the RV-7, so much so that they went out and bought their own. It's a really good airplane. Most people that see this flying in person ends up wanting to get one for themselves. Now that's a zero throttle, high flap pass here. We're just gonna go ahead and land it. And oops, that was a little bouncy. Came down a little too hard. You know what?
Try again.
We're gonna just redeem ourselves on that landing, at least try to.
I was surprised when you said you were going to land.
Well, I wanted to put a fresh battery in and really just kind of go nuts with this thing again. But see, it flies nice and slow and scale if you want to.
See how short of a landing you can do.
Short. Well, this isn't really like a stall plane or anything, but okay.
After that one, though, you have to do something to impress us.
I don't know if that's going to impress, but let's just drop it down. That was really bad, wasn't it? Nope, not impressive, but I think we could say more impressive than the first.
Yeah.
That was better. We're very lucky to have such little wind today. Makes for a nice treat to fly something like this. And what I did in between flights was, on this airplane, I lowered my alarm from 3.6 volts to 3.4, which I'm okay with in this cold weather flying. And I also set it to vibrate instead of the alarm. So if that goes off, it should not be quite as annoying. RV-7. It's an awesome plane. If some people don't like to fly airplanes that don't look real, and so I think this is really for those people. But also, there's a lot of people that just like a nice variety in their RC plane lineup, and Throttle Punch, this offers that variety for them. You know what? I must have not saved it because that alarm shouldn't have gone off. That's really weird. Maybe I did it in the wrong area. Maybe I don't know. It's just there's too many things to know. I can't know it all. I thought I did it right, but apparently not. I got it right the last time I did it. So if you guys are alone, like, don't ever feel like you're alone, right? In this hobby, there are times that I even will do something and think I got it right, but it wasn't, and it's just part of just life. I mean, you know, even the professionals that swing a hammer at a nail miss that nail sometimes, don't they? So we all make mistakes. We all mess up. This sweet plane though. I like doing this with this airplane if I can get it to just drop down.
It just looks like it belly flops or something. Yeah. Just, it's crazy looking.
And then snap, a little bit of a snap, and then just... One of these days I might get a GoPro and aim it down at my thumbs while I'm flying. People have asked me to do that a lot. Just how do I do maneuvers? Even like something simple like a roll, you know, there's a lot of new pilots that don't quite understand how simple that actually is to do, or even a loop. Cuban 8 too. I mean, there's a kind of a lot going on to Cuban 8 when you're watching it, right? I think it looks pretty impressive, but when it really comes down to it, there's not a lot that you're actually doing to make it look good. Now, I would benefit by seeing someone's hand controls to do things like, you know, 4-point rolls, or I mean, I know what they're doing on a 4-point roll, but I just don't make it look good. I can't do it. I need to practice. I need to try to learn a few maneuvers where I push myself out of my comfort zone of the maneuvers that I do know. And that was with rudder. That was pretty cool. We all get in our comfort zones, and for some of us that's just flying in an oval pattern or a circle pattern, and even getting out of your comfort zone might just mean flying in the opposite direction. And there was a guy at our old airfield, WJ, shout out to you, buddy, that for him flying was just flying in an oval pattern, and I'm sure it was like counterclockwise, just like everybody. And one day he said, you know what, today's the day. Yeah, he's a little bit of an older guy, he's retired. Actually, he still works, retired, but also still works. He said, today's the day, I'm going to do it. I am going to get out there and I am going to fly the other direction. Sure enough, he did. And I think after that flight, he said, well, I did it. Now I'm going back to the old way. You know?
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I did it. Got the notch on my belt and I never need to do that again. But he did it. And so sometimes it's fun to push yourself out of your comfort zone and roll the other way instead of rolling the right way. Go left instead of right. And I don't know, that's what I think. Abby, I think I got the voltage to go lower because this seems like a more impressive flight.
I don't know what happened. For some reason, it went off there and then it stopped.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Look,
look.
So, but I think I have there now. There, look. Okay, so we just saw that jet. Look, here we go. Here we go. We saw a jet fly by with no trail, and then there's one with a very visible trail, almost in the same spot of the sky. I just don't understand it, but then again, I kind of do. It just depends what I'm watching. Certain people explain it and it makes sense, and then someone else explains it the other way, and you know, that makes sense too. So you just never know. Beautiful day to fly though. There's no denying that. Now this plane, we're out there having just a little bit of fun flying it all kinds of crazy ways. But look, we can hit our flaps on. And on this pass, I'm going to fly by really slow if I can. Nice and stable. It's just a really good scale airplane that's also aerobatic. Now there's 0 throttle, full flaps, a little bit of throttle so we don't stall. Ah, nice. Did not touch the wheels down, but it kind of looked like we did. We'll just bring it in for a nice smooth landing, hopefully. So I had a lot of bounces the first landing. Then I had like 2 or 3 bounces on the second landing. Can we smoothen that up? Can we get it to perfection? I feel like that last pass I might have been able to do that, but I just kept going around instead. What you guys are hearing is my 5-minute timer counting down. That was one bounce. So it did get better, but it still wasn't perfect. And I think that maybe if I had one more flight, we could achieve perfection, but since there is no such thing, we're done flying. Well, I thought I'd leave the lights on so you guys could admire those. It's bright, but they're on. And normally this is the brightest light on the plane. That tail light, I think it looks really good. But just a really good looking airplane that flies really well on a 3S or 4S battery. And here's one of my favorite things about this plane actually. There is a ton of room inside. You could probably put like a 10,000 milliamp battery in there. No joking about, I mean, look at that. Most of the time when you're working on putting your battery in and out of an airplane, there's no room for your big fat fingers, right? That's how I feel. And this one has tons of room. So it also has flaps, and it's just it's very forgiving. It might not give the best looking landings on asphalt, but it flies off grass really well if you have short cut grass. So I think this appeals both to the scale flyer and the kind of sporty flyer. It's not 3D or anything like that, but it is very fun to fly and can also be a nice, peaceful, relaxing plane to fly too. Today was just a great opportunity to get out in this nice, calm wind weather, which has been very rare this winter, and share a fun RV-7 flight experience with you guys. And for that, I thank God for this beautiful day and just for all the good and the bad and the challenges in our lives. It makes us who we are, and we learn from that. And for that, I'm very grateful. You guys know we kind of somewhat recently have gone through some ups and downs, and I just want to remind you that it's not always as it seems, and maybe you know, we're all going through good and bad. So thank God for all of that. I'm also grateful for all of our Patreon supporters, and even those of you that watch and you don't support us financially. I'm still grateful. We like the thumbs up and the comments and just the interaction that we get with you guys. It really means a lot to us. But as these names scroll by right now, I just want to give a special thanks to our Patreon supporters and invite you to come join in supporting us in what we do. We'll have another awesome airplane video popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.